Greetings, beautiful people. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Friday, June 25th, 2021. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. So focus on what is good. When you focus on what is good, guess what? You have the power to bring something good to pass. So just focus on what is good. Even in the midst of life circumstances and challenges, you still can focus on what is good. So focus on what is good. So before I get into my inspirational quote, I want to remind you to make sure that you are wearing your mask and using your hand sanitizer. We all have to do our part. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. So do your part, keep yourself safe, and keep your family members safe. Well, I do have an inspirational quote for you today. And my inspirational quote is, do not let frustration get the best of you, because frustration does not change a circumstance. Frustration only harasses your emotions. So don't let frustration get the best of you. In the midst of different things that may happen during your day, if you allow frustration to control you, that simply means that you are yielding to the wrong thing. When something happens, and if it's just a displeasure to you, take a deep breath. Focus on what is good. Change your thought process, but don't allow the frustration to take control of you. When you actually feel like you are about to become frustrated, take a deep breath and just shift your mind into another place, but don't let it take control of you. Frustration is a form of impatience. We all sometimes fall short, and we are just simply impatient. Sometimes we are in the midst of different things that could be going on during the day, having a conversation with somebody if they're not doing something quick enough, or just something happening that can just make you feel frustrated. You have to talk to yourself, you have to pray, and you have to keep your mind focused on where you want it to be, not where you don't want it to be. Frustration can lead to anger, and anger is a uncontrolled emotion that can become poison. So don't let frustration take over you. When things don't go your way, your feelings can't change a circumstance. So why allow yourself to sit in those feelings? So don't let frustration take over you. Like I said a minute ago, if you feel yourself getting frustrated, ask yourself the question, are you being patient? Are you allowing the weaker part of yourself to take over? Is it necessary to get upset so quickly? Is it necessary to allow yourself to become frustrated? Do what you can do so that you will not allow frustration to take over you. I'm saying that to you because guess what? When it happens to me, I tell myself this: not today. I'm going to stay happy. I am going to keep my mind focused on where it needs to be. We all have the ability to have self-control, although self-control comes at different levels. Well, the more you practice self-control, the stronger you get, and then you develop more discipline. So, do not let frustration take over you, because frustration leads to anger, and then anger becomes an uncontrolled emotion that becomes poison. We got to stay happy. Joy is like medicine, and joy also gives you strength. Your emotions don't have the power to change anything. Our emotions is something that has to be controlled. Especially if it's something negative, it has to be controlled. You have to take control of it. And you can take control of it by how you think. You can take control of it by taking a deep breath and shifting your thoughts. Just take control of it. I know for some of us, it may be more difficult than others because some of us deal with frustration because some of us are more patient and some of us are not. But we are not with excuse to practice something that we don't need. So don't let frustration take over you. You have the power to take control of your thoughts, and you have the power to take control of what you feel according to how you think. So don't let frustration take control of you. I always pray when I feel myself getting frustrated, or if I feel a certain emotion comes upon me, something that I don't need, something that I don't want, something negative, I pray immediately. Or I think about something that makes me happy. But like I said, don't let frustration take over you. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, there's so many times I've been frustrated unnecessarily. Guess what? Yes, that's right. You've been frustrated unnecessarily. Because sometimes you just need more patience. Everybody doesn't function the same. Everybody doesn't talk the same. Everybody doesn't act the same. We all are different. And when you come in contact with somebody, if they're not moving fast enough, or if they're not doing something the way you want them to do it, or it might be with a spouse or a friend or your child, show some patience. And don't let frustration take over you. Being frustrated with something that's not happening the way you want it to happen. Maybe you're supposed to wait a little longer. Maybe you're supposed to go through the process to learn how to be more patient. Yes. So in that moment, when you feel frustrated, it's not totally a bad thing. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn something about how you can not allow frustration to take over you. Because frustration, to me, is a red flag that I need to know in that moment to take control. Yes, when I feel any inkling of frustration, I tell myself, okay, I got to take control here. But if you're one of those people that you feel a little frustrated and you just allow yourself to just go from being frustrated to angry, guess what? You need to slow down and you need to think and you need to pray and you need to check yourself, because that frustration that leads to anger, you don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to say the wrong thing. You don't want it to get to a whole nother level, because frustration goes from frustration to anger and then to violence. Oh, yes. It just keeps going, getting worse. So I want to encourage you. When you feel frustrated, take a moment, take a deep breath, say a prayer, shift your thoughts into another direction, and tell yourself, don't let frustration take over me. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. This inspirational thought, I came up with this because I was having a conversation. I was having a conversation with someone and they were telling me how frustrated they were. And I said to them, I said, you know what? That problem, that situation is not going to change because you're frustrated. You have to use this moment as an opportunity to learn something about yourself, to be better and take control. That's what I said to the individual. And I started thinking about the dangers of frustration. Now, I'm not saying, that frustration is supposed to just disappear all the time. No, we're supposed to feel certain emotions. But when you feel those emotions, don't allow it to take over you. When you recognize that you are feeling frustrated or something comes to make you feel frustrated, you have to recognize it for what it is, but don't yield to it. Don't give it a lane to drive you all over the place. No, Yield to the thing that makes you happy. Yield to the thoughts and the emotions that bring you joy and harmony in your spirit. So don't let frustration take over you. You got to do it. You can do it, and you will. I want to help you. I want to encourage you, because guess what? There's a lot of people helping me and encouraging me. So I thank you for listening to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. I am preparing some good content, some good inspirational content. I'm going to have some guests coming up soon. So stay tuned to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at sbfavor. Also have a YouTube channel. Please click like and click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there's a new episode of SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. Please subscribe to the channel and click like. Also, please share the podcast with others. Listeners, I appreciate you. If you would like to donate to the podcast, you can donate at $SBFavor at Cash App. I appreciate that. And once again, please share the podcast with others. I thank you so much for listening, and tune in again soon. You have a good day.